Before I get into my problems with RRR, here is an infamous post by the director Rajamouli comparing the so called untouchables of the Hindu caste order to parasites. You can pause and read this post and come to your own conclusions about how Rajamouli views the caste system. So, my problem about RRR mainly lies in the representation of Adivasi leader, that is the tribal leader Komaram Bhim, and how RRR also appropriates him. It is not very often that one hears the name of Komaram Bhim in the line of great Adivasi leaders of the country. His fame has mostly been limited to the boundaries of Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and just like many Adivasi leaders, he has also been removed from the history textbooks. Komaram Bhim was from the animistic Gaunt Adivasi community who fought against Nizam, his Zamindars, and the British. His struggle was against the outsiders whom the Gaunts called Dikkus, and was because of the denial of basic Adivasi rights over land resources and demand for autonomy. In his people's imagination, he was only seeking to liberate his people from Dikkus, the outsiders, and was fighting for self rule. So the religion of his oppressor didn't matter to him, unlike the Hindu nationalist narratives. These narratives argue that Bhim's resentment against Nizam was because of Islamic oppression on Hindus and destruction of Hindu culture. When Gaunt Adivasis are not even Hindus, how does Bhim become a Hindu icon leading the battle against Islamist oppression? Which part of Bhim's history suggests that he endorsed to Hindu religion or fought for Hindu rights? Gaunt people's history provides us an entirely different story. It suggests that these claims are mere propaganda to associate Bhim into the Hindu nationalist discourse by manipulating history. The movie actually Hinduized him and made him a mere follower of the Savarna or upper caste hero from the plains. The tribal leader was turned into a subservient subject, propagating the idea that tribals always need advice from the Savarnas or upper caste Hindus. As Maipati Arun Kumar in his book narrates, Bhim grew up listening to stories of exploitation of Gaunt and Kolam Adivasis by Janglat police, businessmen, and zamindars. In order to survive, Bhim kept moving from one place to other, trying to protect himself from exploitation of businessmen and extortion of officials. Taxes were collected forcefully, otherwise, false cases were registered. It was in such a situation that his father was killed by forest officials for asserting Adivasi rights. In October month of 1940, after killing Nizam Patidar Siddiq Saab while resisting taxes, Bhim ran away and one printing press owner named Vitoba helped him. It was with Vitoba that Bhim learned Hindi, English, Urdu, etc. In fact, we have anthropologist accounts describing him as an intelligent young man able to read and write, and who wrote several petitions to the Nizam. This goes against the final scene of RRR where Komaram asks Alluri Sidaram Raju, "Give me education, brother," and Alluri pricks his finger with the tip of an arrow and writes Jal Jungle Zameen, water, forest, and land in the white flag. In fact, there is also a scene earlier in the film where Bhim shows his admiration of the books around Alluri while he sits on the floor, implying Bhim here was not educated. In fact, the biggest inaccuracy here being that it was Alluri who gave the slogan, but it was Bhim himself who did that in reality. What we see here is the appropriation of Adivasi intellectual legacy. Although a disclaimer at the start of the film says that RRR is a work of fiction that does not imitate or imply any person whether living or dead, does not indicate any race, caste, creed or tribe, Rajamouli's media interviews and the film itself makes it clear that two protagonists are based on historical figures, and him being a director does not treat the two revolutionaries as equal. Alluri, whose caste location is made clear by the sacred thread he wears, is depicted as Komaram Savarna savior teaching the savage the ways of civilized life. Altogether, RRR follows the unfortunate trend of Indian movies trivializing Adivasi struggles and presenting a Savarna savior for the oppressed as somehow Adivasis have no agency at all. Thank you.